Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to be playing the Yak 3. I just unlocked it, and so I decided to do a kind of different video where kind of similar to the Seafire one, except I go from stock all the way to spaded, and I did it in about 4 games. One of them didn't record properly, so I had to record the replay instead, and I just talked over that. I'm going to talk over that at the end. But yeah, so this is the first game. Quite uneventful, to be honest. It's quite long and boring, but I got a lot of RP out of it because we won, and because it was so long, you know. Also another huge chunk of RP. Yeah, so I'm just climbing into battle. Air spawn's quite nice against the Allies and Sweden. Yeah, I noticed there's a Spitfire that I want to go for that's high. Higher than most of the other team. There's one further out, but I don't go for him because this one's, I don't know what he's doing. I think he wasn't really paying attention. Yeah, so I start going after him. 1 kilometer away. He still not noticed me. He starts turning into me. I get a crit on him. I spray quite a fair amount because I've never used these guns before. Notice he's turning in, so I decided to turn in as well. I've obviously crit him enough that I can out-turn him. And we're also at high enough altitude that his turning circle's not great. And there you go. Boom. First kill. Easy. There is an XP38 at this altitude as well, or just below. There's a BF-109 above me, but I trust my teammate to deal with him, and I think he does. Or they get into such a prolonged dogfight that I don't have to worry about it. So that's start game 1. Start diving on this XP50. Sorry, not XP38. I'm a bit of a dumbass. I won him. But yeah, so I spray a lot, miss a lot. Not used to the guns, obviously. I use up all my ammo trying to get this guy, and I maybe get a crit, I think. Yeah, I get 1 crit, and then realize I'm out of ammo. I think, oh shit, I better RTB. Teammate takes me out. And I have to return to the base. Notice that there is a BF-109 above. Let him come in close before he starts firing. Turn, force an overshoot. Quite happy with that bit of defensive line, but you know, it's... all in all, this match wasn't the most interesting, so I sped up pretty much all of it, and it still takes up like 7 minutes of footage. So if I was showing you guys the whole thing, you'd be dead, and that's 1 of 4 matches as well. So you've got a lot more to look forward to. Nah, it's a bit more interesting in the next match, that's for sure. I spray off my last bit just to try and slow myself down, go in for landing. I had to go for the back airfield rather than the forward one because there's so many people around the forward one. Squad mate does the same thing. This is a random squad mate, but he seemed pretty competent. He's already gotten 4 kills. Fully armed, take off. I think there's like 1 enemy left. It's a Spitfire, and he also RTB'd. So start flying back towards him. I was actually not sure if I wanted to do this video because the footage does feel kind of slow and boring, but I think it's a good indication of like how sometimes spading a vehicle can just be boring while also being quite fast. Yeah, so music in the background is just super fast. It's kind of weird to hear. Yeah, so I see the Spitfire is chasing a teammate. They're in a bit of a dogfight. Well, I say dogfight, it's a fucking PE-8 trying to gun him down, and the Spitfire's just trying to shoot him. A Spitfire bugs off, goes in for a landing at some point. I noticed that he's going for a landing, so I've let him land. I'm, you know. I think it was pretty fast. I was surprised by the speed that you can get up to in level flight on this thing. It was the first time playing, so didn't know the ins and outs of the plane, didn't realize it only had landing flaps, no WAP, that kind of stuff. So I asked him if he was if he wanted to jail on the runway to leave, and he says he's not going to do that. And yeah, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to strafe him, but I will wait for him to take off, and then chase him down. So I wish him luck, and notice he's starting to take off, so I start typing in chat. Lose sight of him for a minute, because I got a Discord ping and I had to check that out. I know vaguely where he was, though. And yeah, so I start diving where I think he is. He's a bit further ahead. I'm like, oh shit, okay. Didn't realize he'd gotten that far in that quick amount of time. Yeah, so I started chasing him. Got my smoke. And off we go. On the merry chase we are. Yeah. So he's not climbing at all, which is probably smart. You know, you want the speed because you've got a Yak 3 chasing you. At the same time, he has nothing on me, no energy at all. And that's what's going to happen if you take off when you've got two people circling your airfield. We stayed far enough away that we weren't like getting AA shot, but like, you know, he's the last guy. We're not going to just ignore him, especially after we've just rearmed and repaired. So I notice he pushes ahead on with a teammate, pulls in almost under my guns, and then pulls up right in front of them. My shooting is abysmal here. I don't know the guns and I don't know the plane. So I just get one hit and circle back over. Dive back on for round 2, and I see he's going for another head-on with the teammate. But, you know, he's the last guy alive. We might as well push those things. And I just take out his wing, and that's game 1. Pretty easy. Nothing to write home about. He did a good fight, and, you know, I thank him for not camping in the airfield or anything. And, well, I'm just trying to spade this thing, so I'll just grab any extra RP that I can. Going after the ground targets. Waiting for the tickets to bleed. And, yeah. All in all, I was pretty happy with this for the first game ever taking out this plane. 2 air targets, 3 ground targets, and 1 assist. Moving on to the results screen. 11,488 RP. Pretty damn good. You know, it gets me every single modification that's actually green there, and halfway through the new 12s. So yeah, almost every tier 1 and 2 modification, and just halfway through the 12 mils, the new 12 mils. So that is very clean for one game. Anyway, we move on to game 2, where, you know, it's another air spawn. Same map, I believe. Yeah, so just I'm already quite confident from that first game, you know, so I climb ahead of my team. I know the first game wasn't the most intense dogfighty thing, but it was a pretty good game for someone who's never played the plane before. So I was happy with it, and I was ready to move on to the next game, and that's exactly what I did. And this game was pretty crazy as well, except I did a lot more of the carrying rather than being carried. So yeah, I'm just climbing back towards the enemies here. Boring. I've already sped it up 4 times. Yeah, so I noticed my first target, B-25? Just now? Yeah, B-25 just pops in. And, you know, I was maybe going to ignore him, and I decided to come off because he started firing at me from like 2 kilometers, and I'm like, well, okay, if you're going to do that, I'm going to come in and stick a bullet through your face. Do just that. I'm flying in just at the right angle to, like, make him have to continuously move his guns rather than just spraying down the same spot. And I pilot snipe him. Barely use any of my ammo, so that's an easy first kill. And move on to seeing the enemies. I see there's a P-38, an XP-38. Quite worried about them because they're quite high up. Notice the B-34 is diving away from my team. I see a couple dots, I think. Start going towards them. The music in the background is, I think it's XCOM 2 soundtrack, just because it's such a great fucking game, and the music is fantastic. There's a J-21 I see that I do want to go for. But because he was like talking about the J-21 and how it's so fantastic in chat or something like that, I just wanted to dab on him. I can't believe I just said that unironically. But yeah, there's too many enemies that are higher altitude than him, so I decide not to dive, and I actually do the complete opposite. I go straight up, try and stall out all 3 of these guys. They are all taking the bait, even though they're like miles below me in lower energy state. Just, it's climb time, baby! Flying up there. Stall out, but they've all stalled out like over 1 kilometer below me, except this A6, who I thought was stalling out already. Didn't realize he was still pulling up for me. So he gets a couple shots on, I get crit. But I kill him, so that's 2 kills already. I'm diving after this Spitfire, who I'm hoping to make kill 3. I'm thanking the guy in the chat for stalling in front of me, which was very cocky, and it was quite late, so I was kind of being a bit of a prick. I go after the Spitfire who's like not paying attention or something, and then he pulls up. Which is like not what you want to do. And I set him on fire. And I tell my teammate, who's in an LA5, trying to steal it still, that he's on fire. And then I'm obviously quite pissed off that he's trying to steal it, so I tell him to fuck off. And you know, I could have handled that more like an adult, but sometimes the game just gets you a bit tilted. And you just gotta do what you do. But yeah, so moving on. XP38 harassing my teammates. So I decided to go after him. Got 34 cannon rounds and 88 machine gun rounds. So not very much. And the 20mm still stock, so it's not greatest accuracy wise or damage wise. Once I unlock the 20mm belts, I go for like stealth, because that's what I usually use. But, you know, maybe not the best thing to do when you don't know the guns. But yeah, so I spray at the guy, thinking, okay, I've got a little bit more ammo left, and then I notice about here that I've only got like 2 rounds of cannon ammo and 10 MG rounds. I'm like, okay, well, I need to get out of this dogfight as fast as possible. Just try and cut under the P38, because I don't think he can outturn me. And yeah, so we're doing this weird rolling scissors. Notice there's a teammate getting shot to shit. Like, look at all those tracers. And the J21, crazy shit. Fire my last couple rounds at the P38 and run out of ammo. Like, well shit, I better return to base. And off we go. Start returning. Just running from the enemies, you know. Put it back to 4 times just because there's nothing going on. See teammates are getting shot at around me and stuff. Fuck. Yeah. So I'm running away. Just trying to get back to the airfield. You know how it is. Managed to reach the airfield. I go for the close one, which is quite a ballsy move, I think. But I'm hoping that my teammate can drag the Yak 3. Actually do a loop around it before going into the landing right under the guy. He actually died right next to the fucking airfield as well. But yeah, easy landing. I say easy landing, I braked too hard and flipped my nose in. But yeah. Full ammo. And off I fuck. Yeah, my teammate was getting lippy in the chat saying, oh, thanks for the help. But I was out of ammo, so I couldn't really help. So just moving on to this J21. Last guy on the enemy team. I tell my teammate to like leave because he's damaged and I don't want him to die. Yeah, see what the J21 is doing. I don't want to get in his guns, so I just try and get above him. Do a quick spray. Notice he's not firing back, so he must be low on ammo, so I just commit and I take him out. He does fire right at the end, but, you know. That's game 2. Easy peasy, done and dusted, 4 kills. And an assist. Yeah, so I get 71,000 RP and 8,841 RP going into the Yak 9, and another 8,841 going into the modifications. So yeah, moving on to round 3 of it. This is the last actually recorded game. Round 4 I had to record the replay because I forgot to turn on shadow play. I know, it's really stupid, but I didn't want like overlapping footage, and I didn't realize at the time that it doesn't let you overlap footage. So I'm a bit of a dumbass. Accept that. Anyway, moving on to round 3. Just you know, I've already gotten like 3/4 of my plane spaded, so I'm feeling pretty good about this. I thought I could spade it with this game. I've also switched the soundtrack to the Tactical Legacy Pack version of the XCOM 2 music, which is just absolutely vibey. As you noticed, if you paused for the stat card, which yeah, I guess you could, I'd actually had like 1 game or 2 games beforehand, but both of them I got crashed into like either on takeoff or just after takeoff, and that was really fucking annoying. So I just didn't include them. I didn't feel there was anything worthwhile in those games. Like I barely got like 100 or so RP from them, and fuck all happened. So this game starts. I'm above like most of the enemy team. I find that a lot, which is weird. This is an Axis team actually. You can tell by the BF-109s and the German P-47s. Not that I've been fighting BF-109s and P-47s earlier or anything. P-47 was going for another teammate and I just crit him, set him on fire. Leave him to be. He dies. First easy kill. This is a 3-kill game, by the way. Yeah. Moving swiftly onto my next target. Wolf. Just a hit. Bit annoying. But I can see he's leaking something and he's completely stopped leaking it already. So I probably should have just extended and turned back for him, rather than trying to do this weird rolling scissorsy stuff, but we're set in the end, I think. Missed a couple shots again. I find that the nose took a while to come up there. Set him on fire, take out his pilot. It's an easy second kill already. Not much else going on. This is BF-110. Try and do a quick spray up at him, but nothing happens there. A6M2 behind me. I decide to extend because that thing's quite slow, but he can easily outturn me, and I don't want that happening. But he gets distracted by my teammates and taken out by a J21. And if you look at this, fucking team is taking out like everyone. Easy kills. Probably the shortest game I had, I think, just because my team was so competent and we just absolutely annihilated the enemy team. Yep, C202. Getting jumped by like 3 people. Or 4 people. It's nice to have the Spitfires on your team for a change. Although, you know, all the Spitfire pilots just go, herder, Spitfire, best plane in the war. I don't need to turn, no one can outturn me, etc. You know, they're not always the best pilots. But they're still a nice plane to have on your 6. Or on your team, not on your 6, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I give up on the C202 because I notice everyone's going after him, and then there's a C205 coming in. And I'd prefer to not get jumped by him. Because knowing my luck, I definitely would be. Try and just barely dodge him there. Honestly, was not the smartest move, pulling up into those guns, but he didn't get guts on, so it was okay. He starts extending away, so I try and do a bit of a lag pursuit. But he's so much faster because he came from such a higher energy state. Yeah, and I'm still not used to the playing of this. This is like the 3rd proper game I had in it. Notice that CO202 has dragged like my whole team to the deck. Yeah. But yeah, I'm telling my team I don't have much ammo. I've only got like 20 cannon rounds, 44 MG rounds. I'm trying to conserve as much as possible. Notice my teammate's gotten a nice crit on him. He gets an oil leak. But you know, it runs out quite quickly, so it's not like I'm kill stealing if I go after him. No, he's not dead in any sense of the term. I mean, probably if he sustained flight for ages, then he'd die because his engine would die or something. But you know, it's not like blatantly killing an on-fire guy or a guy who's lost his tail. Yeah, start diving. Notice he's going after my friendly P-51. Notice I'm the fucking way over speeding. And yeah, here we go. Set him on fire. It's like 14 MG rounds and 5 cannon rounds left. And he dies, and that's easy 3rd game. Yeah, so moving on to the results screen. You can see I got 4,400 RP for that because it was such a short game, even though it was a 3-kill game. Anyway, so we move on to the 4th and final game. This is a recording of the replay because the recording system, like I said earlier, I forgot to actually turn it on. Yeah, this was actually quite a small game. I think it was like 1 or 2 kills. It was just getting like the final couple modifications. Because like the first 2 games had got me so many of the mods that I wasn't really too worried. I wasn't sure if this was even gonna make it to the video because I didn't know if it was even going to be that interesting. But it's here. We're watching it. And we doing it. Changed my smoke to orange red because I was done with the full red. No more Soviet Union for me. It is almost time for plane to be finished. That was a terrible accent. I will never do that again, I promise. Yeah, so notice the first enemy, XP-38. Just looking around. He's about 4 kilometers away. Coming straight towards me. Or like coming close to my direction while not paying attention. I do love it when people like AFK go straight towards the enemies. One thing to AFK side climb, but it's another to go straight towards the enemy team. So I fire a quick shot, pull off, and then notice that he is committing very hard and missing every shot. I miss every shot too. But he gets a couple hits on my wing, So I just start turning towards his teammates. Another P38, next P38. XP38 got distracted by someone else, so I'm not worried about him suddenly turning around on my 6. Notice the other one is trying to avoid me for some reason. Not that scary. Yeah, so I noticed the Spitfire up high. I kind of want to go for him first. There's a P63 that wants to go for me as well. Yeah, I go for the Spitfire. This was a pretty dumb move. You know, I'm kind of almost stalling out in front of P63. I'm barely hit the Spitfire. The XP38 that I hit earlier, dead. Someone crit him or killed him, so I got an assist for that. I noticed the P63 just barely misses because I turn right at the last second out of his guns. I probably should have turned off my smoke because it does kind of help people figure out where I am, even if they've lost me. But, you know, I was just reflecting on everyone who doesn't have the tricolor. So I just start extending because I'm pretty sure I'm faster than them. Though, you know, I don't know this plane, so I could have been wrong. I could have very well died easily there. But I don't. So let's go. And yeah, extension. Notice that he's finally giving up, so I start turning around. And he immediately turns back. He's like, oh, you were giving up? Okay, I'm coming back for you, bitch. Couple of sprays. Get him. And then crash into him. But thankfully, that was enough to spade the plane, because I only needed the extra 2,000 research for the new 20 mils. And yeah, that's 4 games and a fully spaded Yak 3. I know the last game was kind of pathetic, but thanks for watching. I know it was a much longer video. It's a different kind, but also thanks to everyone who subscribed so far. I was expecting maybe like 2, but I've got almost 15 now, so that's crazy to me. Anyway, I'll see you guys around. Have a nice day. Or whatever time it is.